more. We'll go over here. Vanessa, are you there?
I'm here.
You're here, and you're very much in the background. I can hear you. Sorry about that. We just technical difficulties, as I say. Very good morning to you.
Morning.
We got there in the end. Welcome along to the
Yeah,
show, and
thank
welcome
you.
and welcome. And first of all, let me congratulate you on a marvelous single. The single's
Thank
called
you.
"Moving On." Now, we want to do the reveal at the end, but this originally came out in 2019, but has now been re-released with an added person. But don't say who it is at the moment. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, it
Good.
was last year that it was released. Yeah.
But it's now out again with this added person, and we'll tell you who it is in just a few seconds' time. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Vanessa. Whereabouts are you from? What do you do, and how do you do it? As we always say.
Sure. So, I live in Bristol, in the city of Bristol,
All right.
currently. I'm originally from Manchester, as many of you can probably tell by the accent there.
Yeah, I can hear a
Um,
Mancunian accent. Yes.
yeah. You can take the lass out of Manchester, but you can't take Manchester out of the lass for sure.
Always the way. Always the way. So,
Yeah.
so what made you move down to Bristol?
Well, because actually my career background's within IT, so I contracted for several years, and wherever the job took me, I'd move.
Yeah.
So I kind of lived in other places, lived abroad as well, lived in France and Spain,
Oh, lovely.
and then eventually moved to Bristol, mainly because it's such a creative city. For those that listeners who are from Bristol will know what I'm talking about. It's an
Oh,
amazing city to develop creativity and also has wonderful live music.
yeah.
And yeah, it's fabulous. It's a city for everybody.
Yeah, well, we've got a few of our presenters come from Bristol, and you haven't at the moment picked up the Bristolian accent though at the present time, have you?
No,
If you
I
retain.
haven't.
So obviously that's your career, but you love your music as well. Tell us a little bit how you got involved in music.
Yeah, I've always liked music growing up, but it's one of those things that was kind of, I'd listened to a lot of, especially soul music. I was very much into soul, classic soul, a bit of R&B as well.
Yeah.
And I've kind of dabbled, playing a few instruments here and there, but in terms of singing, that only really came about in the past few years.
Yeah. Wow.
Um, so yeah, I don't know, it's just life, life takes you through different stages, and
Yeah.
I just decided to explore it a bit more. And I think being in Bristol really assisted me with that. I met some amazing musicians in Bristol as well that encouraged me to do more. And yeah, it just stemmed from there. I also met my keys player, Anders Olinda,
Yeah.
extremely talented person, but also encouraged me to do more with singing and creating music.
Well,
Um,
he's worked with some great names, hasn't he?
yes, he has. He's
PB
worked with,
Young.
yeah, Glenn Hughes from
Yeah.
Deep Purple. He's
Yeah.
worked with also, yeah, PP Arnold, as you've mentioned, and Elliot Randall. So yeah, he's fantastic. So yeah, it's the encouragement of the musicians that I
All
met
right.
in Bristol as well, who, you know, are kind of they're the ones that inspired me to take it forward and then create more music.
So okay. So you brought the single out last year. And
Yes.
how did the guest pick up on the song? How did you? And I don't want to reveal the name right until the end, if possible, because that's the.
Yeah.
But how did this person pick up, and how did you first start chatting?
Well, I just sent her a message. It's as simple as that. Nothing grandiose. I just
Yeah.
sent a message, and she replied, and I was actually quite surprised at first, but I felt like, oh, this is fabulous. And when she heard it, she just said, oh, I love the song, and I just felt so kind of honoured that, and it was a huge compliment
Oh, without a
for
doubt.
someone as talented as her. I
Yes.
won't reveal her name
Not
yet,
yet.
but
No, no, no.
as her to provide that feedback. And when at the end of the interview we're having, when when you find out the name, she's absolutely lovely. A lot of people know her
Yeah.
and have met her, and she's performed
She,
around the world.
I know she sometimes listens in to Kevin and I know that because once,
Yeah,
I think I was
I
telling you
believe she's
yesterday. Right.
listening now. Yeah, I think she's listening right now as well.
Well, we'll
So,
say very good morning to that person. They know where
yeah,
they are, and I know I've been in trouble with her because her group was playing in Norfolk, and I said, "What are they doing up there?" And she came back and she put a little thing on my Facebook thread. Good morning, Nigel. Listening to you from Norfolk, and I felt about 2 foot 2 inches tall. But anyway, very good morning to her. So all right, so she got together. So you've now re-released the song.
yes.
We'll save that away. What's for the future for you, Vanessa?
Yeah, I'm currently working on an album which is the same name as the track
Okay.
that has been released. It's called Moving On.
Yeah.
So the album's also called Moving On, and I don't really have any definitive deadlines on it because I like to allow the creativity to flow.
Yeah, I'm
So
with you.
yeah, so possibly around mid next year, but it all depends because we're in an uncertain environment. Depends what
Yeah, at
happens,
the
really.
moment. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So hopefully next year at some point, mid next year. Um, and I've released another song called "Living in a Lockdown," which is very appropriate. A bit more of a Latin beat to that one, and it's I created it just to lift people's spirits
Yeah.
because the current climate. I just thought it's important to provide some positivity there and get people to feel a bit better about things. And I think music's so important for that.
Well, I think from listening to you, I think you're very, very talented, and you've got an absolutely lovely voice. And
Thank
I
you.
think there's another thing that we need to say here is that sometimes never give up. Pass out your music, as they say, because people do pick up on it, as you are the proof.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. So right, well, we'd better reveal the person then before we go to the single. Who is the person who's now been added and now sings on this new version of Moving On, please?
So for the Shack Attack fans,
Yep.
you all know who she is. So it's Jill Saywood. So
Yeah.
she's the lead of Shack Attack. Absolutely lovely lady. It's been a pleasure working with her as well.
A marvelous group. I mean, they are. I think they're so underrated in this country. I mean, they sell by the boatload in Japan,
Yeah,
and I think they've had over 40. They've been around now for 40 years, and
yeah,
it's a pity really that they seem to have. They were very big back in the 80s, but like most of them, they sort of then they just don't have the hit, and they are turning out absolutely excellent music. Their last two albums they brought out were nothing short of superb, so they're still just as good as ever. So
yeah.
it's a real honour. I think we better play the song and wish you all the very best in the future. And thank you very much for your time. And I think this is an absolute marvellous single, and I wish you every success with it, Vanessa.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Nigel, for having me on your show as well.
Right, so let's put the song then. So your name, and I had trouble, but I always have trouble pronouncing surname. It's Vanessa Poolian, which is Paul with IAN. If people want to buy this track, and it's available from all good stockists now, because I checked on the one that begins with A and ends off with N, and something to do with South America, the Amazon rainforest. It's available on Spotify. It's available from all good downloadists, as they say, and it's the one you want to pick that has got Anders Olinda on it. Is that right? Anders Olinda and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and Jill Saywood as well. So that's because there are two tracks that are down there. Very best of luck. Thank you very much for your time. Let's hear the single, yeah?
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.